Hey everybody, welcome to Hidden Horror. Today I'm here. I want to talk about the delivery driver. Again, I'm not going to share the release of the video that has her in that video talking. Again, I didn't feel comfortable sharing that. Um, I want to just stick to the case evidence, and we're going to go right into the interview that she did with the Moscow Police Department on November 23rd, 2022. This is very fresh. That video, it appeared to have been at least over a year after the horrific killings of the Idaho 4, Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, Madison Morgan, 21, Ethan Chapin, 20, and Zana Coronado, 20. So I'm not going to even address the video that she released. I'm going to stick to the case documents and go over the police interview. So on the Hidden Horror Facebook page, the police interview is there. I will share my screen and pull it up, but I'm going to review it on the iPad because it'll be a larger print. So please allow me to um, pull that up now and enlarge my screen as much as I can so you'll be able to follow along with me. Okay, so I've made that available for you. You can review it at any time as you would like. Okay, so this was part of the document drop. So it's available if you want to see it on your own, but I'm going to go through it. I'm going to read what they're describing as the narrative, okay? The delivery driver, her initials are MM, not to be confused with the victim, Madison Morgan, but I'm going to refer to her and state MM, okay, because they have redacted her name to protect her, okay? So let's read the narrative. On November 23rd, 2022, at approximately 8:39 hours, MM came to the Moscow Police Department to be interviewed about her presence in the area of 1122 King Road during the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. So I'll pause it here and possibly throughout. I want to just highlight that this is 10 days after the horrific murders of the Idaho 4, okay? Now, the thing about this that really kind of, pops out at me initially is why was there this 10-day delay? If you are aware that you delivered this order, why wouldn't you go to law enforcement? Why wouldn't you provide information immediately after the murders? This was a huge murder in this small city, Moscow, right off of campus. Why wouldn't you just willingly go within the next day or two? Okay, if not that day, to let law enforcement know you completed a delivery order at the property at approximately 4 a.m. and to inform them of the time and what you saw um, at the time you were making this delivery. But for some reason, this happened about 10 days after the murder. So let's continue. MM was identified as being in the area through records obtained from DoorDash via a search warrant and was confirmed as being in the area based off a Google geofence warrant, which was obtained as a result of this investigation. So, when I first heard that Google geofence, I kind of looked that up, and I'm going to tell you what it brought back because this was very interesting to me. Um, the Google geofence, allegedly, it's not happening anymore where Google is providing location data from anyone that has their service. Um, but however, back then, they were. So I want to it was some articles released. I will go to the most recent one that comes up, and it's by Forbes. It says Google to stop giving location evidence to law enforcement. This article is updated June 14th, 2025. It says location data has become a valuable resource for both companies and law enforcement. Few understand this better than Google, whose Sensor Vault database stores vast amounts of location data from users who have opted into its location history service, recently rebranded as Timeline. Although this database was created to enhance user experiences, it has come under scrutiny due to its use in geofence warrants. These warrants, which law enforcement agencies use to track individuals based on their proximity to crime scenes, raise significant questions about privacy and the extent of surveillance. Google will now migrate user data from the sensor vault to the user's device. This would make it impossible for Google to search and return the user's location data to law enforcement. Once this change takes effect, law enforcement must identify the person and device from which they seek to obtain location data. So let's continue this just a little bit more. Google Sensor Vault is a massive database that archives precise location data from users' mobile devices. The data collected through GPS, Wi Fi, Bluetooth, and cell tower signals allows Google to build detailed profiles of where users go, how long they stay, and even the routes they take. So you see that in your car, you have it on your phone, etc. Right? Users who enable timeline on their Google accounts contributes to this data set, which Google leverages to improve its services and provide personalized recommendations. However, the database also serves another more controversial role as it is frequently accessed by law enforcement through geofence warrants. A geofence warrant is a request issued by law enforcement to obtain location data on all devices present at a specific place and time. Unlike traditional warrants, which target specific individuals, geofence warrants cast a wide net by focusing on a geographic area and time frame, collecting data on anyone whose device was present during the specified period. With increasing privacy concerns, Google has recently implemented changes that alter the way location data is stored. Location data is now kept directly on users' devices instead of within Google servers, making the process for law enforcement to access it more complicated. This change requires law enforcement to gain access to the phone itself, either through the phone's owner or by searching the phone in custody. This measure means geofence warrants alone will no longer provide the same broad level of access as data retrieval will require the cooperation of the device's owner or physical possession of the phone. So I wanted to share that background information with you. I'm going to link that article on the Hidden Horror Facebook page, of course, so you can have that if you want to review it. But this is how they obtain the delivery driver's information by the geofence warrant. She was caught up in that. She was included in that. She did not come forward on her own. Law enforcement figured out who she was, that she was there at the time, and they wanted to interview her to find out what she saw, what she knew, possibly what she even heard, right? So let's continue. Okay. I was accompanied by FBI Special Agent Alex Skelton during this interview. MM told me she worked for 12 to 18 hours on the night November 12th to the 13th and received 3 orders in the King Road area. 2 of the orders were at the Blank Queen Road Apartments complex, which is immediately to the east of 1122 King Road. MM said the delivery at 1122 King Road was her final order for the evening. MM said she could not find the 1122 King Road address as the address number was hidden by the porch light, which caused her to remain in the area for approximately 15 minutes. So this is where I have a little problem. Um, that area is very dark. It's extremely dark, and possibly she didn't see the address. But this is my problem with this statement. Let me just I want to pull up and show you a picture of 1122 King Road, which I know you already know this. This is not any surprise, right? Okay. So if we enlarge this, now, okay, 1 second. Let's add the property. And I just want to show you this. I know you know this already, but when she's saying that the porch light prevented her from seeing the address, I thought that was kind of odd because, first off, the address is right here on this front facial of the house. So if there was a porch light, for example, with any lights, I don't think it would be blocked because it's above here. I think possibly it was very dark. I've seen the property at night and without any lighting. Oh, this is another picture. We can look at this one. It's very dark, but if you look at this, the light is below here and the light is here, and you can clearly see 1122 King Road. So I'm not really sure why she's saying she couldn't see the address. I know she's going to say that she had to go behind and she was told to go to the back of the house. But clearly, unless the light was not on, it would have been extremely dark, of course. And maybe that's why she didn't see it. But that's just something that stood out to me that I immediately noticed. Well, let's go back to the report. So we have that in front of us. Okay. So let's continue. So MM said the delivery at 1122 King Road was her final order for the evening. MM said she could not find the 1122 King Road address as the address number was hidden by the porch light, which caused her to remain in the area for approximately 15 minutes. MM also stated her Google Maps told her to go to the parking lot immediately behind 1122 King Road. MM stated she initially parked in the front of 1122 King Road and could see a female in the top left window. So that's the third story bathroom. MM said she saw the same female a couple more times in the same window, and she would duck down when she looked at her. So this struck me because my first thought is, why is the person ducking down? If you live in the house or if you're supposed to be in the house and you're a resident, why are you hiding because somebody from the outside is looking at the house, possibly looking at you? That immediately was a red flag for me. That really stood out to me. Let's continue. MM then said she drove to the back parking lot behind 1122 King Road and parked. She stated she could see the back courtyard area behind the house and, okay, go to the next page. And she noticed all of the lights were on. So in the back of the house, she noticed that all of the lights were on. MM stated her map told her to walk into the back of the house, but she did not feel comfortable doing so because there was no path. MM said she started to walk down the road, which runs north-south immediately to the east of the residence. MM stated a tan sedan drove next to her while she was walking. So she picked the color of the car as tan, and it was a sedan. So more than likely a four-door vehicle. Let's continue. MM said there was one male driver, and notice he did not look at me. She said he looked completely zoned and just drove by her. MM later stated the driver was white with blonde or red spiky hair. So he was a white male with blonde or red spiky hair. Now, of course, that does not match the description of Brian Kohlberger, okay? Just to highlight that. Okay, let's continue. MM also noticed the dome light in the car was on when it went by and later told me the male was wearing a light colored collared shirt. Okay, now remember, this is 4 a.m. And this is her seeing this tan colored sedan go past her. The male is wearing a light colored collared shirt. And she can see all of this because she says inside of the car, the light is on. And this white man has the blonde, red, spiky hair. Okay, let's continue. MM stated she walked back up to her car and drove back to the front of 1122 King Road, at which point she saw the address numbers. MM said she placed the order at the front door, took a picture, and then left at approximately 4 hours, so 4 a.m. During the time MM was in the area of the King Road residence, the white Elantra can be seen via the blank King Road camera driving back and forth on Walenta Drive and then entered the King Road Queen Road loop at approximately 3:56 hours, so 3:56 a.m. At the point MM pulled into the front parking lot before she dropped the order off, the white Elantra pulled in behind MM vehicle, a gray Subaru Forester, and then exited the King Road at approximately 3:58 hours. MM did not mention seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time. I continued to question MM about her time near the residence. She told me she walked down Queen Road at one point with her flashlight out. MM can be seen doing so on the footage from blank King Road. MM also continued to tell me the female she saw in the upstairs bathroom window would duck down when MM looked at her. MM described her as having long brown hair. MM stated she could not identify the girl as one of the victims. So we know these victims. We know that Kelly Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, they had blonde type hair, and that Zeno Conoto had that dark brown hair. But reading this statement, it is clear that if we're looking at the three female victims, none of them she could identify as the person in the bathroom on the third floor in the window hiding and ducking. She doesn't say that they're any of the three victims. She says she could not identify them as one of the victims, the girl, that it was not matching. So who was the female on the third floor in the bathroom at approximately 4 a.m. having long brown hair and ducking when MM is seeing her in the window? And this is at approximately 4 a.m., everybody. That's something else that sticks out that doesn't align. Who was that? Because we also know that if we look at pictures of Dylan Mortensen and also pictures of Bethany Funk, they don't have long brown hair either. So let's just pull up a picture. trying to show you a couple of pictures pretty quickly. So my apologies. We're almost done with that. So I do want to show you some pictures just to show you that the hair, it doesn't match what MM is saying she saw. So we have the victims here. We have Maddie, we have Kaylee with the blonde hair, and then we have Zaina with the long brown hair. But MM is saying that she could not identify the girl that was in the third floor bathroom in the window as one of the victims. So who was she? Because we also know if we pull up a picture of Bethany Funk, okay, and we have Bethany Funk right here at the end on the right. We have Zaina here, Kaylee, we have Dylan Mortensen, and then we have Madison Mogan. The only person that has the brown hair is Zaina. Out of all 5 girls, the only person that had long brown hair was Zaina. So who did MMC in that window? She couldn't identify them as any of the three female victims. It wasn't Zaina. Zaina's the only one with brown hair. So that's another question, right? We don't know. It causes us to have a lot of doubts, right? We have a lot of doubts there. At least I do. So I just want to share that with you. So let's go back. Let's wrap this up. Let's finish this. Okay, so let me see if I can make this larger because we're really at the end of this, okay? At the last paragraph. Approximately 30 minutes into the interview, S.A. Skelton requested MM take part in a cognitive interview. MM agreed, and S.A. Skelton began the cognitive interview. During this interview, MM confirmed much of the information she already told us. MM was able to remember she had her dog with her during one of her walks in the area, but did not clarify much more in the ways of the details of the evening. We thanked MM for her cooperation, offered any support she may need, and concluded our interview. Subsequent investigation of video footage and cellular data showed the tan sedan MM saw was likely a light-colored SUV which left the area. Now, how does she miss that? How does she say that it's a sedan and not an SUV? That's really strange to me. Moreover, it does not appear MM saw the white Elantra at any point during her time near the residence. Now, I find that odd because allegedly, when you're reading this, law enforcement is saying that the white Elantra parked directly behind her, which doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. But that's what law enforcement said. It's like they're trying to put these words together, but this is not what she said. Right here it says, at the point MM pulled into the front parking lot before she dropped the order off, the white Elantra pulled in behind MM vehicle. And it's a gray Subaru Forester, and then exited the King Road at approximately 3:58 hours. MM did not mention seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time. She didn't say she saw the white Elantra at any point during her time at all. But law enforcement is trying to put this together. And this is what's really, it's scary business. The identity she makes is that it's a tan sedan. She's saying that there is a dark brown, long haired girl on the third floor that's ducking when she's looking at the house, trying to find the house, which is really odd. When she does identify a driver that's riding by, she says that the person has blonde or red spiky hair, which does not match Brian Koberger. It's just all these things that don't make sense. And then you look at the video that was released about her that's not consistent with what she said in her written statement, a statement that it appears she was pretty much brought in by law enforcement to do this interview, that it was not willing. So that's all I have for you today. Please remember, stay smart, stay safe, stay savvy. Be well, all my friends. Bye, everybody.